That's the 1 2 1 2. Test the 1 2. Peace, 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 peace. Peace, peace, family. All praises to the Creator. Thank you for joining me. This is Moreh Yaakov in another lesson for tonight. All praises. Thank you for joining me at TFTR Network. Make sure as you come in, you press that like button, you press that subscribe button. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you press that like and subscribe button. Make sure if this is something that you want someone else to hear, hey, make sure you press that share button as well to let them know that we're here. All praises to the Creator. All praises. Let me blow my shofar. All praises. Happy Shabbat to each one of you. Happy Shabbat. Hey, shalom, Sister Latoya. Thank you for joining me. This is our TFTR Network. This is Moreh Yaakov. We thank the Creator for everything that He has done for us. We thank the Creator for all that He will do for us. We thank the Creator for giving us the energy to be able to do the things that we need to do in this captivity. We thank the Creator for also giving us the strength to be able to get up, to go to work, to be able to make this fiat money, this fake money, to be able to live in this captivity while we're being oppressed. We thank the Creator for giving us that mindset, whereas that we can understand, come to the ability and the realization to know exactly where home is, where the promised land is, who we are, and what happened to us as a people. We thank the Creator for each one of you for joining. Thank you. Shalom, Sister Joanne. We thank you for joining me. This is Moreh Yaakov. Make sure actually when you come in, you press that like button, is that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to the page yet. So we thank the Creator for each one of you for coming in. Tonight we're going to be talking about a Passover lesson. We're going to be talking about, can we keep Passover? Can we keep Passover in a foreign land? Shalom, Spare Not Network. All praises. What's going on? It's nothing but the rent. All praises. So we're going to be talking about a Passover lesson. But before we get into the Passover lesson, we thank the Creator for everything that He has done. We thank the Creator for just blessing us, protecting us, keeping us, providing for us, giving us everything that we need in order for us to sustain ourselves in this captivity. We thank the Creator for just being the Creator and Creator alone. By Himself, there's none beside Him. There's no Son. There's no only Him and all else serving Him. And we thank the Creator for that. And we thank the Creator. We're going to get into this lesson. Shalom, Brother Caesar. Good to see you again, brother. All praises, brother. Good to see you. Yeah. That's my partner right there. That's my partner. But we thank the Creator for each one of you. There's one thing that I want to kind of bring across. I want to kind of get into some things tonight. Can we keep Passover? Can we keep Passover in a strange land? And we have to, either we're going to go by scripture or we're not. Also, I want to talk about, before I get into the Passover lesson, I just want to kind of touch on it. I'm not going to go into it. It's about the father seed. Because I think a lot of people have the father seed mixed up. You know, you think that everything goes according to the man, and the woman is just there to help bring forth a child. And, you know, everything is just built around the man. But everything is not just built around the male. Everything is built around the family. Okay. Before let's pick up one scripture first. Let's go to the book of Tobit. Let's go to the book of Tobit, the 4th chapter. And I want to start right there about the father's seed. That's what I want to start at, dealing with the father's seed. Because we have to get, you know, straight up life lessons of see what the scripture says about what we should and what we should not do. Okay. Because a lot of people come with their own interpretation of what the father's seed is about. A lot of people come with the thing of saying, well, you know, we supposed to be, you know, everything goes by the father's seed. You know, Israel, if it don't have nothing to do with the woman. Okay. Well, I'm gonna kind of touch on something tonight. I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna go in depth with it. I'm gonna have a whole lesson on the father seed coming up soon, because I'm gonna dispel a lot of these lies that a lot of these people have been teaching, you know, and been showing our people. And then they go out and get these foreign women, and then they say, oh no, that child is an Israelite, disregarding what the Bible says. Okay, so I want to start with Tobit, the 4th chapter, verse 12, because see, this is also going along with when you keep the law and when you keep the feast days. The foreign nations can't be in the midst of you. Okay, so all this ties in. All this ties in at one. Okay, so let me start at verse. Let me start at verse 11. Tobit, the 4th chapter, verse 11. It says, "Almsgiving is a worthy offering in the sight of the Most High for all who practice it." Okay, almsgiving. I'm not going to get into the almsgiving, but verse 12. Be on your guard, son, because this is what Tobit was telling him. You know, by giving. You know, when you give, you're giving alms. And what is alms? Alms is not money. Okay? But that's for another day. Verse 12 says, be on guard, be on your guard, son, against every kind of whoredom or fornication. So when you're talking about whoredom or fornication, you're talking about worshiping idols. That's one point of whoredom and fornication. It's talking about worshiping idols. Okay. And then he says, and above all, marry a woman of your own ancestral family. Now, notice what Tobit is telling his son. He said, be careful of whoredom. Because whoredom also comes into a point of, like I said, you're worshiping foreign gods. You're following a foreign custom, culture. You have been indoctrinated. That's a form of whoredom. That's a form of fornication. Also, another form of fornication is when you have illicit sex. That's a form of fornication. Okay. But he says, but marry a woman of your own ancestral family. Why is he telling them that? He said, do not marry a foreign woman. So now, family, you have to make a distinction right here. Tobit is making a distinction that you marry a woman of your ancestral family and not a foreign woman. That means bloodline. You marry somebody of your blood, not somebody that is not of your blood. Okay? You do not marry people outside of your blood. This is Tobit. Watch what Tobit says. Okay? Do not marry a foreign woman who is not of your father's tribe. Don't go outside and just marry somebody because you think you fell in love with them. You cannot. Tobit is telling his son, do not marry somebody outside of your family, outside of your bloodline, outside of your nation. If it's not your people, you should not be bothering them. This is what Tobit is telling Tobias. Because we are the descendants of the what? Prophets. We are the descendants of the prophets. That means you're supposed to be separated. Okay? You're supposed to be separated. We are the descendants of the prophets, who are the first to speak the truth. Noah prophesied first, then Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our ancestors, from the beginning of time. Son, remember that all of them took wives from among their own kindred and were blessed in their children, and that their posterity would inherit the land, meaning their children. Let me tell you something, family. If you are mixing your seed, they will not inherit the land, period. You're cursing your land. This is what Tobit told Tobias. This is what Tobit told Tobias. Brother Yehoshua, shalom, shalom, brother. Good to see you. What your comment saying? I wouldn't refer to Tobit. Stick to the book of the law only. Why would you not refer to Tobit? Brother, Tobit was in the Assyrian captivity. And did not Israel go into the Assyrian captivity, brother? And when Tobias left, he went to the Medes. He went to Medes. Was there not a Medes in the Persian Empire captivity, brother Yehoshua? Answer those two questions for me. Then we'll talk about why use Tobit. And the point is, if you don't like what Tobit said, okay, fine. It doesn't matter to me. Watch this. You say stick to the law. Okay, well, let's go to the let me finish up what I'm saying. See, let me finish what I'm saying. Because see, let me tell you something. Yes, yes, and yes. Okay, all praises. So if they were in captivity in Assyria, then you tell me who you know what story teaches you about the Assyrian, what was happening in the Assyrian captivity in the Bible, the King James Bible. Because the book of Tobit was a part of the King James Bible until they took it out. They removed it and separated it and called it the Apocrypha, the lost books. But let's see if Tobit was just talking, the only one talking like that. Let's go to the book of Judges, the 14th chapter. Tobit told his son, marry your own kindred. Because that's the only way you're going to inherit the land. If you mix, you're not going to inherit the land. Let's go to Judges, the 14th chapter. Let's jump down to verse 3. Judges, the 14th chapter. See, because there's one thing when you say, "Oh, well, I don't agree with that book." Well, fine. Let's see if these agree with this book. Let's start at verse 1. What is this thing doing? You said the Apocrypha is comprised of Tobit and other books I find kind of iffy. Well, that's fine. I mean, I find Torah iffy, brother. I find the different things in Torah iffy. And that's fine. I mean, when you read and you find some iffy stuff in it, well, what's some iffy stuff you found in the book of Tobit? Because I just told you, Tobit told his son Tobias to marry on his seed, his only seed, marry somebody of his ancestral family. You didn't tell him. He told him, don't go outside and marry strange women. Strange women are people that's foreign. They're foreign. So let's go to Samson. Let's see if Samson said the same thing what Tobit was telling Tobias. Verse 1. And Samson went down to Timoth, and saw a woman in Timoth of the daughter of the Philistines. Philistines, who are the Philistines? I think that's Hamites, ain't it? Okay. And he came up and told his father and his mother. So Samson saw this beautiful woman, and he came back up and told his mother and father, what? I have seen a woman in Timoth of the daughter of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me to wife. This is Samson. Samson is telling his family, his mother and father, I want to marry this foreigner. Let's verse 3. Then his father and his mother said unto him, is there never a woman among the daughters of your brethren, or among all my people, that thou go and take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? And Samson said unto his father, get her for me, for she pleases me well. So there you go. Samson's father and mother pleaded with him, get somebody of your brethren or of your nation. See, we think, oh, see, it's the father's seed. I'm just building a little foundation real quick for you. It's the father's seed. It go by the father's seed. But then why Tobit told his son Tobias about strange women, and why Samson and his father and mother told him about these uncircumcised women. If it's just about the father's seed. See, if it's only about the father's seed, it wouldn't matter the woman. I want you to think where I'm going. I want you to think what I'm saying. I want you to think of what they've been saying to you to make you think that a male can just go and be with any woman. And they can have a baby and that child still be an Israelite. Then why is it that Tobit is pleading with Tobias, showing him the law? And why is it that Samson's father and mother is showing him and telling him the law and telling him that Delilah is uncircumcised? Let's not stop there. Let's keep going. Let's get the third example. Let's go to Genesis 24:34. I'm not going to get into it deep tonight. I promise you I'm not. But I promise you I'm going to revisit this. And when I revisit it, I'm going to break it all down about this seed of the father. Because they always tell you, oh, it's the seed of the father. It's the seed of the father. Yeah, see, it's the seed of the father. But they don't tell you why. Why it's the seed of the father? Oh, because he got the sperm. Oh, really? Wow. Sperm is just an organ that produces. Same thing as the egg. The sperm can't do nothing without the egg, the same way as the egg can't do nothing without the sperm. But let's go. Let's keep going. Genesis 24, verse 2. I'm going to start at verse 2. And Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house that ruled over all that he had. He talked about a servant. This servant ruled over all that he had. I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh. You know, because they make pacts a certain way. Put your hand under my thigh. Verse 3, and I will make thee swear by the Lord, the power of heaven, and the power of the earth, that thou should not take a wife unto my son, the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell. Hold on. So, if it's about just the man's seed, it shouldn't matter. But I thought Abraham didn't want to take a Canaanite for his daughter-in-law. But who did he tell his servant to go to? Verse 4, but thou shalt go unto my country and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac. Why is he telling him to go back home to his house and among his people to get a wife for his son? What is going on? Those are 3 examples thus far. Telling their people not to mix this, not to get somebody and mix their seed. So what is this father seed thing is about? Let's keep going. Genesis, let's jump to Genesis 28 and 12. Let's go to the 28th chapter of Genesis. See, because anybody can tell you it goes by this. No, excuse me, Genesis 28 and 1. My bad. Salakia, Genesis 28 and 1. That it goes by this and goes by this, but they don't never tell you why. And then they make it look like the female is just there. The man just going to female. And then when he gets finished, then the woman do the rest of the work. But see, that's my seed. That's my seed. That's my seed. Did the Creator absent the woman because he said the woman is the helpmeet to the man? Do y'all understand what a helpmeet is? That's an assistant. And if you think about an assistant, the assistant has to be on the same lane and level as the one who's in charge. They cannot be unequally yoked. They cannot be unequally yoked. How could 2 or 3 walk together unless they agree? The Bible says the two shall become what? One. How can I become one with something different from me? I'm not telling you I could take my sex organ and I could go inside of any woman. But how would that woman become one with me if she's not of me? I need to know. How does she become one with me if she's not of me? Genesis 28 and 1. It says, and Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said unto him, thou shalt not take a wife of the daughter of Canaan. So Isaac is saying the same thing. Same thing. Don't take the daughter of a Canaanite. Verse 2, and go to Padan, to the house of Bethuel, thy mother's fathers. and take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. You see, he's telling him to go to his wife's. He said, thy mother's father. Laban was Rachel's father. But he told Jacob to go to her lineage. Why he didn't say go to my lineage? Because the two shall become one. Not gonna get into it tonight. Not gonna get into it tonight. That's what I'm telling y'all about that father seed. I'm not gonna get into it tonight. I'm not gonna get into it tonight. If they're not equally yoked, and if she's not of me, then you don't have an Israelite. You have an unbalanced seed. The last scripture for the seed for tonight. Because he told her to go to your mother's father. He didn't say go to my father's house, like what Abraham said. He said go to your mother's father. But I thought it didn't matter about the woman. See? Pay attention to scriptures. Because see, you don't understand the father's seed. And you don't understand what that means. Last scripture for tonight on this topic. 1 Kings 7:13. First Kings 7:13. First Kings 7:13. This is what it says. And Solomon sent and fetched Hiram out of Tyre. He was a widow son of the tribe of Naphtali. So that means his mother was from Naphtali. And his father was a man from Tyre, a worker in brass. And he was filled with wisdom and understanding and cunning to work all works in brass. And he came to King Solomon and wrought all his works. Was this son an Israelite? Because the sister was an Israelite. But the brother was Ham. Was the child an Israelite? That's my question. Was the child an Israelite? Was the child an Israelite? Just put a yes in the chat or no. Was the child an Israelite? Huh? Was the child an Israelite? Was Hiram's son from Tyre an Israelite? The answer is no. Because he was Ham and she was an Israelite. Even if it was vice versa, he was an Israelite and she was Ham, that child still ain't an Israelite. I say, Brother Yehoshua, In 1 Kings 7 chapter, verse 13 and 14. Was Haran's son an Israelite? And I said no. Very good, Sister Latoya. He was not an Israelite. And it don't mean it doesn't make a difference if the mother was an Israelite and the father was not, or the father was an Israelite and the mother was not. That's the reason why I gave those examples. If the woman is not compatible with you, that child is not of you. It's not of the nation. It don't make a difference if that child comes from you. If you go outside of yourself, that child becomes a bastard. Period. It don't make a difference if how beautiful the child is, how good their hair look. That don't mean nothing. The Bible tells you don't make covenant with these people. And we sit here and we make covenant with them. Let me grab one more. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon 3:1. Let's just grab one more. Wisdom of Solomon 3:1. And then after that, we're gonna go to Numbers 1:18. Wisdom of Solomon 3:1. Wisdom of Solomon 3:1. See, because we have to be very careful. Very careful. Very careful. I don't want this one. Let me grab another one. 3:1. But the soul of the righteous are in the hand of God. That's right. Am I reading the right one? Is that 12? I'm supposed to put 12? Nope. Okay. Don't tell me I'm gonna put down something again. I've been rushing. Let me make sure this is it. I put down the wrong verse. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Let me come back to that one because I really didn't want to get into that. Let me see if this is one. Let me see this one right here. I know it's Wisdom of Solomon 3. Let me grab this one right here. Let me see if this is one. Yeah, let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, the 7th chapter. Let's go to there real quick. When I break this whole thing down, I'm gonna bring back the Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter. I just got to figure out which one I had. Did I miss my place? No. Wisdom of Solomon 7:1. Wisdom of Solomon 7:1. It says, I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth. Verse 2. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted with blood and the seed of man. Hold on. Inside of the what? What it says? And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of what? 10 months. Being compacted in blood of the what? Seed of the man, and the pleasures that came with sleep. Let me ask you a question. Just on that right there. When the sperm meets the egg, where's the blood? Inside the egg, is it blood or is it just dormant? I'm just going to leave that right there for tonight on this subject. Verse 2. I'm going to read it again. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man. So the seed of man brings that blood? Or is both organs compacted each other and both intertwined? Egg meets sperm, sperm meets egg, which creates an embryo. And that compact blood comes from both parents when the conception happens. I'm gonna leave it right there, because the seed of the father depends on the mother. You cannot have a pedigree. Numbers 1:18. Numbers 1:18. You cannot have a pedigree You cannot have a pure pedigree if you are out of order with the woman that you have, if she's foreign. You cannot have a pedigree, not a pure pedigree. Numbers 1:18. And this is what it says. See, when I get into this subject, I'm going to slow bake this. The seed of the Father, I'm going to slow bake it. Where's that you can't get around it. You can't go over it. You can't go under it. You're going to have to come through it, or you're going to walk away from it. Period. So be looking out on this one. And they assemble all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declare their pedigrees after their families, what consists of a family, the male and the female. The male and the female consist of a family. So if Tobit say that the other women are foreigners, if Samson, father and mother say that they are uncircumcised, if Abraham and Isaac say don't take these women around you, so what makes a pedigree? They all beg their children to be amongst themselves, because that's how you determine your pedigree. Because if you got a foreign woman, how do you know her family? How do you know the history of their family? See, you have to go and learn their family. You have to learn their culture. But the Creator say, no, I need you to stay in your culture, because you don't have to go and learn them. You should already know them, because they are of who? You. Y'all just have to come together and learn how to stay together. But if you got somebody that is not of you, you got to learn them. You got to learn them. You have to learn them. So who gonna pull who? Which one is strong? She gonna pull you, or you gonna pull her? Which one? You gonna start eating tata? That's blood on the meat. That's that red meat. And they give you some bread or a biscuit or a roll to sop up the blood when you eat the meat, and the blood drips from the plate. That's tata. You gonna learn to eat raw fish, sushi? Huh? You gonna learn to eat that blood? You gonna learn to live according to their culture? You gonna learn and talk like them, walk like them, act like them? You gonna become them? This is what the Creator was talking about. They're gonna turn you away from me. Because when you mess with someone that's not of you, it pulls you, or you're gonna pull them. Because they're not of you. That's why you don't see animals mixing, because they're not of the same pedigree. The pedigree after their fathers, by their families, You remember I gave you the story? Isaac told Jacob to go to his mother's father's house. That's still part of the same pedigree, family. That's still part of the same pedigree, family. I should be able to walk backwards. I should be able to walk backwards. On my side and on the wife's side. That's what Isaac was showing. Because the two lineages are one now. That's why when you go to Leviticus 18, it tells you don't deal with your mother's sister like that. Because the mother's sister is the same as your mother. By the house of their fathers. I just showed you a father's house. Isaac told him to go to her father's house. Her father's house is just as important as your father's house. And when you have a son, your son becomes his own house of his father. He's a separate nation, but he's still of the nation. Because now he have his house. Brother Yehoshua said, I got a Negro father, mixed mother. However, the curse is on me. I know I'm in Israel just by that. Okay, brother, you say the curse is on you. Okay, all right. Then you say, glad talking about Ephraim and Manasseh while you're on the subject, not condoning intermixing. I want me a daughter of Zion, but I'm just saying. Okay, brother, it's not a dating site. It's not a dating site, family. It's not a dating site. Okay, family. Now let's get into the Passover lesson. The thing is, what we have to understand is we have to understand scriptures. Okay. And okay, here we go. When we understand scriptures, we have to realize, like the brother say, the curse. He said the curse is on him. Curse, you curse! Oh, man. So, family, when we talking about a curse, let me show you a curse, family. Let me pull it up real quick. Let me show you a curse. Let me show you a curse, family. Let me pull it up. Let me share my screen. Let me show you a curse. Some of you probably know about this curse here. I'm just going to show it to you on Google. I ain't trying to get into a lot of it tonight. Let me show it to you. Share. It's called the Snyder Act. Snyder Act, June 2nd, 1924. The Snyder Act. He's going to wait till it come in. It's called the Snyder Act. And I hope y'all can see it. I hope y'all can see it. This is the Snyder Act. Okay. It said the Snyder Act of the Snyder Act of 1924, also known as the Indian Citizenship Act, was a law that grant full citizenship to all Native Americans. I want you to pay attention to the hijack. This is not talking about Native Americans on the reservations who were previously excluded from the 14th Amendment. Now you got to ask yourself the question, family. Who was excluded from the 14th Amendment? 1924. Huh? You wasn't a part of their system, family. You wasn't a part of their system. In the early 1900s, you was not a part of their system, family. The act was proposed by Representative Homer P. Snyder of New York and signed by President Calvin Coolidge on June the 2nd, 1924. The act was partly motivated by the service of Native Americans in World War I. However, the act did not guarantee the rights to vote for Native Americans, and some states still deny them the franchise. See, this is when you talk about voting, family. See, they were bringing you in to sign you up to vote, and when you voted, you lost your rights as an indigenous person. Some Native Americans also viewed the act as a threat to their sovereignty, culture, and a tool for what? Forced assimilation. Do you see that, family? Do you see that, family? You want that to sink into you? Brother Shabba say, brother, they don't know. If you're not a full Israelite, they couldn't attend some assemblies. That's true. If you're not full, you're not supposed to even be in the congregation. You're supposed to be on the outside. Hold on for a minute, y'all. Yes, sir. Pound 3344. Pound 3344. Okay. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. Handling some business. Had to handle that. But this is the Snyder Act. This is when they made you a citizen. This is when they assimilated you under the 14th, under the disguise of the 14th Amendment to make you a citizen. Now you can start paying taxes to these people, man. This is one of your curses. When they signed you up to vote. Who know the scripture about voting, family? Brother say, your host brother says it's traumatizing to be called a nigger to your face, and another saying, go back to Africa. I didn't know why these things were happening till I cracked open the scriptures. Okay. Brother, who know the scripture about voting? Deuteronomy, the 14th chapter. But see, they got you so involved in becoming them that you forgot about who you were. What else happened in 1924? The Racial Integrity Act, when they removed you from being an Indian to a colored person and a Negro. Walter Plecker. This is when they started issuing you a birth certificate. You became a part of them. See, this is how they got you. You started accepting everything these people put on your plate. Oh, no, see, you come from Congo. But have y'all ever heard of Congo, Peru? Look it up. Congo of Peru. Look it up. Congo is in South America. Congo of Peru. Look it up. Also, I'm gonna show you something in a second. Go get the book. It's a book called The Britain, The Key to World History. Britain, The Key to World History. Let me share something with you. Let me see if you can see this real quick. I know this is part of the page. I'm gonna read this. I know you can't see it. I know you can see a little bit of it. I got it on my phone. I'm just letting you see it, and I'm gonna read it. Watch what it say. Go get the book, Britain, The Key to World History. It says, yet that mythology all points unhesitatingly to the earliest civilization as occurring in the Atlantic region, and not at all in the Mediterranean or Asia Minor. Above all, the history of the Old Testament is the history of Atlantis. It's in a book called The Britain, The Key to World History. So it's telling you that everything that you read in the book happened over here in America, not over there in Asia Minor or in Africa. It says the main person responsible for its misinterpretation was Constantine the Great, who had defiant motives for transferring the arena of Jewish history. So Constantine just didn't give you Jesus. He stole your material from over here. And when he stole your material from over here, he took it back over there. He says Jewish history and that of Christ. He created Jesus Christ to reign altogether. He used Christianity as a valuable political asset. Select the East as his empire. He selected over there Constantine to be his empire. And with the aid of what? Eusebius, Jerome, and others invented the present day Palestine. They created Palestine. Constantine. See, they only tell you the history. Oh, he invented. They was arguing over Jesus. Nah, he stole the Israelites' material. How do I know this? Constantine was a Greek. Go to the book of Joel. You have taken my gold and my silver and my goodly things, and you have taken it into your temple. So that's what was going on, family. They stole your stuff and took it back over there. That's how King James ended up getting it. That's how they knew you was here. That's how they knew who was here. It says, if this to be correct, the present day Jews who make a historical claim to Palestine are utterly wide of the mark. Meaning they don't even know what the hell they're talking about over there. They are God's people. That's Israel over there. And most of you believe that that's the promised land over there. Most of you believe that. You believe that. And then y'all believe that the Native Americans are the 10 tribes. Those Native Americans, those Latinos and all that. Well, tell me what plantation they ever came from. What plantation they was on. What plantation they was on. That's right, Brother Yosha from Deuteronomy 17. Deuteronomy 17. You don't supposed to put anybody over you except your own brother, who the Creator have chosen. But we going to try to vote these folks in over us. We vote these folks in over us. We put these folks in to rule us. When the Bible tells you don't do that. They're supposed to have the priesthood around them who goes into these offices for the priest to remind them of their obligation to their people. But instead of them having the priests around them, we pick people who have lobbyists around them. We pick people who know who sell us out. And we don't even care. We don't care. We don't care. When was the Native Americans ever reclassified as being black? These are questions I'm asking. But y'all call these your people, y'all say that these are Israelites on the reservations. Y'all say these are Israelites crossing the border. Those are the 10 tribes. That's what y'all say. Oh, they came over here when nobody else was over here. But who the hell built the pyramids? Those pyramids was over here before the Assyrian captivity. If you go back, if you say that that's the promised land over there. Well, who built the pyramids over here that's older than anything over there? Who built the Olmec heads? Who? When was the Native Americans ever on plantations? I want to see that. I want to see that story. But they put you on a plantation. They say, oh, you were the slaves. You came on ships and chained, all chained at the bottom of the ship. Somehow, Israel's supposed to have been that weak. They allowed supposedly pale people to come and pull them from Africa. Oh, no. See, they had Africans too. But look at what the Israelites are doing today, like IUIC and all them folks. They telling you the Africans are the Israelites now as well. The Africans are Israelites now. I ain't seen yet Nathaniel go to the people with the little thing around their neck to stretch their neck all the way up. Why Nathaniel ain't went to those people and said, y'all are Israelites? Why he did that? Why he went to those people? You see? Let me show y'all the video. I'm gonna show y'all the video. Give me a second. This is an African. This is an African. Give me 1 second. I want y'all to hear the African out her own mouth. What she said about you as a so-called African American. But y'all say, oh, these my brothers too now. First it was the people in the islands. Then it's the Latinos. And now the Africans your people now. I don't have nothing against the Africans. I really don't. But everybody can't be your brother. We can have allies. Israel had allies. But now we saying that these folks are Israel too. Israel just everybody, man. I mean, if that's the way it's gonna be hell, I might as well just go back to the church. Oh my God. Israel just everybody, man. I mean, they just everybody. Israel can't be their own people. No. I don't see nobody rushing and saying you ain't no Egyptian. If I claim to be an Egyptian, now you ain't no Egyptian. You're not an Egyptian. Nah. You're not an Egyptian. Let me share this video real quick. We always want to, we bringing everybody into the fold. We bringing everybody into the fold. Let me make sure I turn this music down real quick, because I want you to hear this. I want you to hear this, family. Fair use, fair use. Fair use under the Act of 1976. Hold on, let me go back. Let me start it from the beginning. Okay.
The future of your...
This is funny, man. Okay, let's get on to it.
You know, I like to respond to comments. It won't take too long, right? Us, not with them. So we got to straighten out the confusion with us. They're actually not the issue. And the video we're going to show tonight is going to really put it right where we can understand it. How I'm not going to speak on people from the Caribbean.
I want y'all to pay attention to all her words, because she's going to address you so-called African Americans.
I had a particular, I think it was a sister that actually messaged me from the Caribbean. She's a Caribbean sister, distant cousin of the family.
Notice that distant cousin from the family. Let's go.
By Candace Owens. Not everybody from Caribbean accolade. I never said everybody from Caribbean was that way. There's a lot of down Caribbean people I know. That's about the people. It's about, trying to make something right. They want to unify and throughout the diaspora. And I'm down with those Caribbean people 100%. So like I'm down with the people from the continent 100%. I've always said that people on the continent is more thinking about unification. People on the continent think more about working together than those who come here. And I explained to a lot of times that those who come here a lot of times are selected by the U.S. government. So they already don't pass the smell test. Then we cover one particular distant cousin from Namibia trying to get a visa to come here. They just taking her money, wouldn't let her come. Well, maybe something in there, they say, nah, she may join with them Black Americans. Not her. We're going to get the one over here. We know it's going to shuck and jive. You know what I'm saying? So yes, we're going to have these conversations. If you don't like that, well, then go have the conversations on your channel where you think you need to have that at. And you can say whatever you think you need to say, and God bless you in the midst of your conversation. But we're going to have these conversations. We're going to have it because that's what we need to do. Also, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to video today about that. You can go view it. I explain why Mayor of America, the super mayor, every time I watch her, it's always some new clip that I can add. Colonization, dealt with slavery, right? Dealt with discrimination, all kind of things. If we get them here, it can help them. And also we can have more people in the fight. And we never understood.
So he said, if we could get the African people here, it can help us with our fight. Is what he say now. Okay,
what
let's
happened?
Go.
Now, a lot of the Caribbean people that was originally here, they was in the fight. They was in the fight with us. A lot of them were. So I can't.
Because the Caribbean people is you. The Caribbean is part of America. That's not something separate. So I want y'all pay attention to what they say now. Listen to what they say. Let's go.
Say they wasn't. We got to be real. But Shirley Chisholm, she said that the white supremacists,
Shirley Chisholm is from the islands,
wanted a more docile Black person because we were too turned up. We was too ready to fight. So that's what their plan was. And they started with, even she talked about her parents, right? Which are Caribbean. And they made sure when they came here to give them help that they wasn't giving the Black Americans. They made sure to help them with businesses, homes, the kind of the same thing they do with the migrants today. Shirley Chisholm has said that that's what happened even with people in her family by the U.S. government. So while the Black Americans wasn't getting that, they were bringing other Black folks in, let's say from the Caribbean and now the African continent. Now they have perfected who they bring over here. And
okay, so let's skip that. Let's get on. Okay, it's getting ready. Yeah, right here. All right, let's go. Oh, you got to go do a commercial. Let's go. All right, let's go.
Us, completely us. And we got to have those hard conversations. So let's go ahead and cue this up real quick.
Pay attention to everything that she say out her mouth. Let's go.
As an African living in the United States, I used to share the same sentiment that Africans share about African Americans because I had a hard time when I first moved here. People used to always tell me, you're not Black enough, you're an Oreo, you're secretly white on the inside, as if I wasn't literally from Africa. But I now understand after living here for 8 years that Black in the United States is a very specific criteria and anything outside of that just doesn't fit. But I want to help African Americans understand that Africans coming to the United States are immigrants, first and foremost. Then they are Nigerian or Senegalese or whatever country they're from. And then at some point, they are Black. But Africans don't put Black high up on their identity well as much.
Now I want y'all just on that note, what she say? They come here first as an immigrant, then their country, Nigeria, Senegalese, Somali, Ethiopia, and then they learn you and become Black. Let's head again. Let's head from the horse's mouth.
As if I wasn't literally from Africa. But I now understand after living here for 8 years that Black in the United States is a very specific criteria, and anything outside of that just doesn't fit.
She said Black is a specific criteria, as if a criteria is like a curriculum, something you got to learn. Let's go.
But I want to help African Americans understand that Africans coming to the United States are immigrants, first and foremost. Then they are Nigerian or Senegalese or whatever country they're from. And then at some point, they are Black.
Then at some point, they're Black. See, they don't come here being you. They learn you and become you. She just made that clear distinction to you. Let's go.
But Africans don't put Black high up on their identity well as much.
Because she know who they are. She know who she is. She knows she's not you.
Just African Americans do. And that is for legitimate reasons on both ends. And so when an African is coming to the United States, they're thinking to themselves, okay, I'm an immigrant here. I have to do my best for myself and my family back home. The sacrifices that took for me to get here were no light work. Okay. So I need to really align myself with what's going to make me successful in this country. And because it's the United States, it's the dominant culture, which is white American culture. And so Africans are going to instinctively ally themselves with the culture that's going to give them the most success. I mean,
I thought they was your people. She said they're not coming here to identify with you. They coming here to identify what's going to make them better. And they're going to identify with that. This is a true African. You heard it from her own mouth. Let's rewind. And let's go.
Understand after living here for 8 years that Black in the United States is a very specific criteria, and anything outside of that just doesn't fit. But I want to help African Americans understand that Africans coming to the United States are immigrants, first and foremost. Then they are Nigerian or Senegalese or whatever country they're from. And then at some point, they are Black. But Africans don't put Black high up on their identity well as much as African Americans do. And that is for legitimate reasons on both ends. And so when an African is coming to the United States, they're thinking to themselves, okay, I'm an immigrant here. I have to do my best for myself and my family back home. The sacrifices that took for me to get here were no light work. Okay. So I need to really align myself with what's going to make me successful in this country. And because it's the United States, it's the dominant culture, which is white American culture. And so Africans are going to instinctively ally themselves with the culture that's going to give them the most success. I mean, African Americans even admit that they have to code switch to be successful here because that's what brings success. And so Africans are like, all right, we'll do that. And it also doesn't help that for a long time, Africans are fed a very negative view of Black American culture, and that's its own propaganda. But because Africans are so conservative and they're coming to a country where Black Americans have been labeled as the antithesis to this conservative traditional family values, they have, if anything, more in common with Southern Baptist white racist people. But that aside, going back to identity markers, Black Americans put Black first and foremost, and then everything else goes below it. And so they're thinking when another Black people come to our country, they're going to want to integrate with us, the other Black people, because duh, Black comes first. And they get quickly disappointed in realizing that Africans, Black and the identity and that coming is not first. Their immigrant identity comes first, and then their country. And if anything, for us as Africans to feel like that's my brother, that's my brethren, or whatever, you have to come from the same tribe as us. Because
bam. Did you hear what she just say? Let me say it. Let her say it again, because this is we just talked about the lineage. Let's hear it again.
Where Black Americans have been labeled as the antithesis to this conservative traditional family values. They have, if anything, more in common with like Southern Baptist white racist people. But that aside, going back to identity markers, Black Americans put Black first and foremost, and then everything else goes below it. And so they're thinking when another Black people come to our country, they're going to want to integrate with us, the other Black people, because duh, Black comes first. And they get quickly disappointed in realizing that for Africans, Black and the identity and that coming is not first. Their immigrant identity comes first, and then their country. And if anything, for us as Africans to feel like that's my brother, that's my brethren, or whatever, you have to come from the same tribe as us. Because
why is she saying you got to come from the same tribe to be her people? But you're the only one going around saying they Israelites. They don't feel that same way about you. But we say, oh no, see, slavery got them and they don't know who they are. You don't know who the hell you are. She's telling you who she is and what she identify with. But you ignore that because you got more sense than she do. Let's go.
We have so many Black people around, we don't automatically pre-select for Black. But Black Americans don't have so many Black people around, have had to defend and protect their culture amidst a dominant white culture. And so
she said, y'all don't know, we don't know how to protect our own culture. Because you gotta start identifying with pale people. Let's go.
They are already pre-select and are overprotective for Black. And so that's why I think at the core of it, there's like a deep misunderstanding because of not realizing that we put, where we put our identity markers and what we put first and what we prioritize are so different culturally because of our differences in trauma, realistically. And so it does make sense that Black Americans will be like, oh, my people, my brethrens come here. And African Americans, or Africans, coming to the United States are like, I'm just trying to make it here. Like, it's a lot of work to immigrate to the United States. And so y'all can stay over there. And I can see why it's hurtful, and I can see why it's taken personally. And I can see the deep misunderstanding and the betrayal that African Americans feel. But it's unfortunate, and that's just a reality. But if we can talk about it from this perspective, I think we can get to a better understanding. But I also believe that Africans that spend enough time in the United States get to this compassion and understanding of the Black American community, because it is a very unique and specific set of circumstances for a culture to grow and to develop.
You can't say it no better than what she just did. You can't. You cannot. This is the problem. We always try to include people in our lineage. This is the problem. Sister Latoya said, LOL, the Hebrew Israelites is 12 strands of DNA, not tribe according to them. Sister Betty Bob, shalom, shalom. Happy Shabbat. This guy don't even know the Bible, his Bible. He will not reading it how people sold us to the white man. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you a question, Sister Betty Bop, if you still here. The people sold us to the white man. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Do you believe white folks were slaves, Sister Betty Bop? Just answer yes or no. If I don't know my Bible, then I want you to help me just real quick. Was white people ever slaves? Sister Betty Bop? Since you say, I don't know my Bible, was white folks ever slaves? That's a yes or no before I even pull up anything up. Devontae, shalom, shalom. Good to see you, brother. Shalom. Happy Shabbat to you. Happy Shabbat. Sister Betty Bop, I hope you're still here. Was white folks ever, was pale people ever in slaves? She said a mouthful. Africans always say that the Negroes are really from America. She did. And Sister Latoya, I'm glad you heard that. I'm glad you heard that. Betty Bop ain't gonna say nothing now. She this person ain't gonna say nothing. This probably IUIC implant, ISUPK implant. One of them camps. Who cares? They're not gonna say nothing. They're not gonna say nothing because this person been on my chat trolling for a long time. And I don't know my Bible. But at the same time, I ask you a question: was white folks ever in slaves? Was white people ever in slavery? That's a yes or no. That's a yes or no. Was white people ever in slavery? See, this is the problem. That's the problem. This is the problem. We don't like the truth. We don't like the truth. Sister Betty Bop, or Brother Betty Bop, was white people ever slaves? Yes or no? Was white people ever slaves? Betty Bop. See, they ain't gonna say nothing now. See, that's a troll. That's a troll. Family, that white slave thing, white people brought us here, that is a lie. That is a lie. That is 100% lie. White people brought us to the Americas. That is 100% lie. Go get your leader, Betty Bop. Go get your leader, Betty Bop. Bring him on. I give him a platform. I give him a platform. See, this is what I'm talking about. Betty Bop. Explain this, Betty Bop. Wait till it come in. Then we're gonna get into the Passover thing, and I'm gonna be gone for the night. Betty Bop, explain this. Who is this, Betty Bop? Let me blow it up. Look at that. Where did it come from? Where did it come from, Betty Bop? Since I don't know my Bible. How they end up picking cotton? Betty Bop. How they picking cotton? I thought we was the ones picking cotton. Huh? That's what you used to have a picture of them doing that to us. But you ain't never seen that picture, Betty Bob. You seen the picture of a white man. Yeah, you get down, you nigga. Get down. But you ain't never seen that. We got to pick cotton. Why you never seen this picture, Betty Bob? Why you don't talk about these kind of pictures? Huh? Betty Boop? Why they don't talk about this? Look at that. Let me blow that up. Boom. Look at the black man looking over these white children. Look at that. Why they don't talk about that picture, Betty Boop? They're in the cotton field. I thought the nigga was in the cotton field. Only. But why they in the cotton field, Betty Boop? You want me to finish pulling out my arsenal, Betty Boop? Huh? Since I don't know the Bible, Betty Boop. You want me to finish pulling out my arsenal? Look at that. I thought the niggas was the only slaves. I thought niggas was the only slaves. See, y'all let these camps lie to y'all. All them One West camps are liars. And I tell them that in their face. They don't tell y'all that these people were slaves. And slavery was just an employment. But they put these pictures in front of you. Oh, look at us stacked on a ship like sardines. Ooh, that's Judah, that's Benjamin, that's Levi. They coming to the United States to be bonded with the 10 tribes. Y'all are liars. You don't even have an event that scattered us. Show me. If a white man go in your neighborhood and pick you, you're going to just sit there and look at him. So now all of a sudden you got courage. But back then your forefathers didn't have courage. They were cowards, right? You telling me Israelites were cowards? But the story I read in the Old Testament, Israelites were warriors. We became cowards when we joined One West. We became cowards when we started trying to vote. We became cowards when we started following Jesus. We became cowards when we became a Christian or a Protestant or any kind of other Christian that falls under Rome. We became cowards. But they don't talk about this type. They don't talk about these folks in the cotton field. You want me to show them on the boat? Booty bop. You want me to show them pack up on the boat like they show you a picture you supposed to be pack up on the boat? You want me to show you them pack up on the boat? Booty bop. How about chains? Because they got them on. They got literal pictures like this of them in chains. You want me to show it to you? You don't want me to pull my arsenal on you. But they brought you here on slave ships, but they in the damn cotton field too. You need to get the hell up out of here. Let's go. Let's keep this thing moving. You the slave, but they in the cotton field too. How that work? does that work? They in the cotton field too. They picking cotton too. They was next to your forefathers picking cotton. But y'all don't talk about that, do y'all? Oh no, to see they indentured service. What is an indentured servant? Did an indentured servant have to work a certain period of time? Yes. How many indentured servants died in slavery or employment? How many? Pull the records. Where did indentured service come from? Europe. Who brought them here? The Negro from Europe. They're liars. This is the reason why we have to. If you're part of the bloodline, must make a separation from fiction to nonfiction, from a lie to the truth. Because if you sit here and you keep following this narrative, you're going to get put to death, and you don't have no one else to blame but yourself. And if you have children or grandchildren, you're only doing them disservice by keep calling them slaves. When your forefathers had farmlands, your forefathers had stores, restaurants. Black Wall Street wasn't just in Black Wall Street. Go to Seville, New York, Durham, North Carolina, Rosewood, Florida. Well, I can name all these places. Manhattan. They put a lot of our cities, our thriving cities, under lakes of water. This is why we must separate to be able to build again. Because if we sit around these people, you're going to keep feeding lies into what Betty Boop said. Betty Boop will never tell you about these type pictures. And I want Betty Boop to sit there and debunk these pictures. Debunk it. This Wikipedia right here. I'm telling you where I get it from. Wikipedia. Wiki. I'm gonna sound like a scratch. Wiki. But this is the problem. We follow nonsense. And when you don't study, not just the Bible, but you don't put history to the Bible, you'll get liars like Betty Boop. And see, they'll give you a fake name with no type of picture. That's why when you tell them, hey, was pale people enslaved too? Nah, they were just indentured servants. Like an indentured servant is different from a slave. Nah, see, you were a slave that never could get out of slavery. Well, how the hell we got out? Marching? So marching, maybe we marched. Hold on. I'm getting an epiphany. Ooh. How many of y'all heard of the Gullah Wars? Huh? The Gullah Wars. How many of y'all heard of them? The Gullah Wars of the South. Well, who the hell is the Gullahs? Oh, they come from Africa. How the hell they know about lima beans? Because lima beans is one of their favorite dishes. That's why I love lima beans. Sweet potato pie. Show me an African making a sweet potato pie. Give me an African. That come from Ghana. That come from what they say that place in Africa, Angola. Fixing sweet potato pies. Boiling lima beans. Cooking grits. Show me an African doing that over there. African dish or grits on it. Sweet potato pie. Because lima beans come from Peru. What it is? Lima beans come from Lima, Peru. That's where the lima beans. That's where you get the lima beans from, Lima, Peru. How did the African know about that? How they got down in Peru? I thought they all came from North America. Oh, I forgot. Someone was dropped off in South America and they brought the beans up to North America, right? Y'all gonna somehow give them Africans a trip up from south to north, carrying a bag of beans. Hey, plant these. Y'all are some crazy. Y'all smoking, bro. Y'all smoking. But you got to get away from these type people. And that's why these people will keep you in bondage. They will keep you in bondage. Give me a second. Let me pull up a law. Let's go to let's go to Exodus 14 and 12. It's Exodus 14 and 12. And this is what it says. It is not the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians. For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. Some of you are scared to let go of your doggone mindset that you've been in Egypt, that you've been a slave coming on slave ships. Some of y'all are afraid of that. The white man came and got you from Africa. He was just that powerful, right? But somehow Israel fled from out of, let me show y'all your 70 AD story. They fled from out of Israel and they went into Egypt and they built the kingdom for almost 1,300 years? And somehow the Africans came in and conquered you and sold you to the white man. You ain't got no pushback even today. Y'all just forming up groups standing on corners. So if you come from that land over there, why you ain't trying to get a dual citizenship? Why you still here in America? Because you like the lima beans. You like the sweet potato pies. You like the grits. You like the Indian food, don't you? Huh? You like the fish and grits, don't you? We can't stay in Egypt, family. Mindset must be released from Egypt first. Let's go to Isaiah 24 and 21. Y'all like the fish and grits. Like the sweet potato pies. Because you know when you get back over there in Africa, you ain't got that. You got fufu. That sounds funny, but that's a real dish. Fufu. I hung around Africans in Houston when I was in Houston doing music with Jay Prince. I hung around some Africans back in Houston. They used to eat a bunch of fufu. I know how to make fufu. I know some of their dishes. Isaiah 24:21. Y'all still here. You waiting on the creator to release you, so that release you from the grits and fish, ain't it? Because you know you ain't got no grits and fish over there. Sweet potato pie. You ain't got that over there. They ain't cooking no pies over there. They ain't cooking pies over there. Y'all like that gullah food, don't you? You like that gullah food. Yeah, Isaiah 24:21. This is what it says. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Creator shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. So I thought the angels don't get punished. I thought there was no such thing as fallen angels. So with the host of heaven, he gonna punish? He gonna punish the host of heaven, because they're ones, those you got the host of heaven that falls out of line. Huh? He gonna punish the host of heaven and the kings of the earth, because they are being influenced by the host of heavens. Everybody loves Jesus. He's the host of heaven. Jesus said, y'all believe in my name and do all the works in my name, you will get put to death. He said, depart from me. Let's go to the New Testament scripture, Acts the 7th chapter, verse 14. Acts the 7th chapter, verse 14. It says, then Joseph and called his father Jacob to him, and all his kindred, 75 souls. Now watch out. Now look what the New Testament say. What is 3 scores? Huh? 75. A score is every 10 years. I mean, I think a score is 20 years, 20, 40, 60. Something like that. What is 3 scores? Somebody help me out. What is 3 scores? Somebody help me out. What is 3 scores? $75, family. 75. So he said they came out with 75 people. So Jacob, the New Testament says Jacob came out with 75 people. Let's go to Exodus 1 and 5. Exodus 1 and 5. The New Testament say they came out with 75 people. And it says, and all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls. 70. For Joseph was in Egypt already. So the Bible says 70 souls came out with Joseph. The New Testament says 75. Let's go to Genesis 46. Let's go to Genesis 46. Verse 26 and 27. And unto Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, which that's what I can't read that word. The Asenath, the daughter of Papaleah, priest of Onor, bore unto him. And the sons of Benjamin were Bela and Bekar and Ashbel, Gerah, and Naaman, Enah, and Rosh. Can't pronounce some of these names. These were the sons of Rachel, which were born unto Jacob. All the souls were 14. Okay. Now, Let's jump. That's 46. This is 46. This is 46. Yeah, 46, 27, and 28. 26 and 27. All the souls that came out with Jacob into Egypt, which came out of his loins, besides Jacob, sons and wives, all were 76. 70. Hey, brother Chava, that fishing grits got you. But now you know if you're an African, you can go ahead and go back. You ain't got to worry about that fishing grits. You got to wait on the creator. Just go on back. Go on back to Africa and eat that fufu. So in Genesis, they say the same thing what Exodus is saying. They came out with 70 people. Deuteronomy 10 and 22. So the New Testament got it wrong. The New Testament got it wrong. They say 75 people. Well, who's that extra 5? Who is the extra 5? Deuteronomy 10 and 22. Thy fathers went down into Egypt with 70 persons. 70. Who's the extra 5 people? The New Testament talked about. Who's the extra 5 people? See, this is the problem. You quote the New Testament, but you don't see the discrepancies like that. The New Testament say it was 75 people, but Torah and 3 other scriptures say it was only 70. So let's get into the Passover lesson. It's going to be real quick and short. Let's go to Numbers 9 and 2. So some of these Israelites that claim they come from Africa, they could go ahead and get ready to go back to Africa to eat that fufu. They ain't got to worry about that fish and grits no more. They ain't got to worry about them greens. No, them greens with the turkey wings in it. They ain't got to worry about none of that, the sweet potato pie. See, they ain't got to worry about that. You ain't see no African cooking no macaroni. You don't see that. When they get over here, they do it. But they ain't cooking no macaroni over there. They ain't cooking none of that. But y'all clean, y'all come from over there. Numbers 9 and 2, what it says. Let the children of Israel also keep the Passover at his appointed season. Israel's supposed to should keep the Passover in its appointed season. That's not a think about it. That is a guarantee. You're supposed to keep the Passover. And the Passover season is springtime, not summer, spring. And it gives you the actual day. Stay in the 9th chapter, go down to verse 4 and 5. And Moses spake unto the children of Israel that they should keep the Passover. They should. That is a law. They should keep it. Verse 5, and it says, and they kept the Passover on the 14th day of the first month at even. Even. When is the even? When the sun hits the highest peak, and the moment it moves, the millisecond it moves from the highest peak, you are in the evening time, sunsetting. In the evening, in the wilderness of Sinai, they were not at home. They were in the wilderness on the way home. And they kept Passover in the wilderness. All that time, when the sun hit even on the 14th day of the first month, according to all that the Creator commanded Moses, so did the children of Israel. So they kept the Passover in the wilderness. Some people say, oh no, you can't keep the Passover unless you're at home. Well, they kept the Passover in the wilderness. Let's go to Joshua 5 and 10. Joshua the 5th chapter, verse 10. And the children of Israel encamped at Gilgal. That's not in the land. They camped at Gilgal and kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month at even in the plains of Jericho. That wasn't in the land, but they kept the Passover. They're still in the wilderness, family. They're still in the wilderness. Let's go to Leviticus 23. Leviticus 23, verse 5. That's what it says. On the 14th day of the first month at even is the Creator's Passover. So it's telling you when the Passover come in. Moses kept it in Sinai. Joshua kept it in Gilgal. Both of them were in the wilderness. Okay? So when the sun hits its highest peak, and the second it moves from the highest peak, it's the 14th day. It's Passover. It's Passover. Deuteronomy 16. Deuteronomy 16, verse 5 and 6. Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of your gates. He's talking about killing the animal. You may not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which the Creator thy God giveth thee. So in any of your gates that you were given, you are not to kill a lamb. Verse 6, but at the place which the Creator thy God shall come, that shall choose to place his name in, there thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at even. See? At the going down of the sun, at the season that thou camest forth out of Egypt. It's not telling you you can't celebrate Passover unless you're in the land. You can't kill the animal. Only where the Creator has put his name. That ain't got nothing to do with celebrating Passover, the memorial of it. Because they number one Passover, and that's where Israel came from out of Egypt. That's Passover. It's nothing but the memorial now. That's why Israel could have kept the Passover. They could have kept the memorial of it wherever they were. But you can't kill an animal except where the Creator tells you where you put your name, where he put his name. Salakia, where he put his name. That's the only thing you can't do. See? So if you ain't home, you can't kill no animal. You only can remember the Passover and have a meal. That's all you can do. Because you can't kill no animal. That's all you can do. Exodus 12 and 43. So when they say, "Oh, you can't keep the Passover," no, I can't kill an animal. Talking about that's my Passover. No. And I'm not getting into the thing about no sacrifice. I ain't getting into that. Not tonight. Exodus 12 and 43. And the Creator said unto Moses and Aaron, this is an ordinance of the Passover. There shall no strangers eat thereof. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No strangers can eat your Passover. But every man's servant that is brought for money, when thou hast what? Circumcise him, then shall he eat thereof. You have to go through a process, family, in order to take part into your Passover. You can't just have anybody to come into your Passover. That's supposed to be sacred. You're not supposed to just have anybody to come into your memorial. That's supposed to be sacred. That's supposed to be sacred. That person who you invite has to go through a process to be able to take the Passover or to be part of the memorial. Numbers 9:13. We about done. See, because a lot of us, we think that I ain't live by the laws none this year, but I'm just going to eat I'm just going to take part into the memorial anyhow. No, you're not. You are a stranger when it comes to the laws. See, a lot of us, we think we can just do whatever and then, oh, I can just slide on. No, 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 no. You become a stranger. Your ways are not the law. Your ways have become the world. This is what happens. Numbers 13. Numbers 9. Numbers the 9th chapter, verse 13 and 14. Can't just bring anybody to your Passover. Numbers 9, 13 and 14. But the man that is clean and is not in a journey and forbeareth to keep the Passover, even that same soul shall be cut off from what? Among his people. So if you ain't in no traveling mode, handling business, and you get caught out there, but you are able to keep the memorial, you should keep it. You're supposed to keep it. You should keep it. Because he brought not an offering of the Creator in his appointed season. That man shall bear his own sins. You're supposed to bring an offering. No man should come to the Passover with an empty hand. No man should come to a Passover with an empty hand. You good, brother? This your home? Hey, I thought you like fufu. Oh boy. Huh? Fufu and fishtail. You know, fish eye. The head of the fish. I know some people eat that head of the fish. They put that head of the fish in the stew and they'll boil it with soup. The eyes and all, brother. And next thing you know, they sucking on the eye. my goodness. Let me stop, bro. Let me stop. Let me finish up. Shava, stop it now. Oh my goodness. Shava, you making me you gonna don't make me start, brother. Don't make me start. Please don't make me start. Let me finish up these couple of scriptures now. Let me start. Let me finish up. Oh my goodness. Exodus, what I said. You got me off track. Numbers 9, 13, and 14. Number 9, 13, and 14. It says, yeah, but you don't supposed to come to Passover with an empty hand. You're supposed to have something in your hand. And if the stranger shall sojourn among you, this is verse 14, and will keep the Passover unto the Creator, according to the ordinance of the Passover, and according to the what manner thereof, so shall he do. Ye shall have no ordinance, both for the stranger and for him that was born in the land. So it's talking about a stranger. If that stranger live according to your laws, and you know that this stranger was keeping the laws of the Creator, he could take the Passover. There's no separate laws for the stranger and for him, for an Israelite. They are to keep the Passover as well. But they must go through a process. Exodus 12 and 8. That stranger, if he's not proven, he should not be among you. But if he was proven, then he could be among you. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire, not raw flesh. It must be roast with fire. That's a grill. That's an oven. And unleavened bread, and with bitter herb, they shall eat it. That's your Passover meal. That's the meal. That's what the nation of Israel ate. Eat it not raw, nor sodden, and all with water, but roast with fire. See, and they talk about the head and the legs and all that. We don't have that. We don't have goats. We don't have a farm. They took our farm. We let these folks come in and take our farms. So we stuck with what they give us until we get back to we get up to do our own. But we can't do all this anyhow. You can't kill an animal. All right. Jump down to verse 11. And thus shall ye eat it, with the loins girded, with your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And you shall eat it in haste. And this is the Creator's Passover, meaning because when Israel was getting ready to leave, they had to have all that stuff in hand, and they had to eat it in a hurry. See, Passover, the real Passover, they didn't sit down and eat. Getting glasses and making a toast, they had to leave in a hurry. Haste, fast, buckle up. We had to move. Ain't no time to look back and make sure everything is gathered that night. So when that thing happened and the gushing and the doors open, we got to move. Because you know when a man give you 1 point, he'll change that point over on you quick. See, the Israelites had to eat in a hurry. Let's go to Ezra. Ezra in the Bible. Ezra, the 6th chapter. Excuse me, Ezra, the 6th chapter, verse 19 and 20. And it says, and the children of Israel and the children of the captivity kept the Passover upon the 14th day of the first month. So even when Ezra was in captivity, they kept the Passover. Verse 20. For the priests and the Levites were purified together. All of them were pure and killed the Passover for the children of the captivity and for their brethren, the priests, and for themselves. So they kept the Passover in captivity. They kept it in the desert, they kept it at home, and they kept it in captivity. So you can't say, oh, we can't keep it. You just can't kill an animal. But you can have the memorial, and you can have a meal, and you can remember the Passover. Let me close out. Let's go to Tobit, the 2nd chapter. Let's go back to the Apocrypha. Tobit, the 2nd chapter. Tobit, the 2nd chapter. It says, now when I come home, because remember Tobit left because he was burying the dead bodies. Now when I was come home again, and my wife Anna was restored unto me, and my son Tobias, in the feast of Pentecost. Now you can't have Pentecost without Passover, because you got to have 7 Sabbath Passover, and then you got a Pentecost. So they celebrated Passover without Tobit. And when Tobit came home, they were celebrating Pentecost. But watch this. Which is the holy feast of the what? 7 weeks. That's your 7th Sabbath. There was a good dinner prepared for me, in the which I sat down to eat. And I saw the abundance of meat. They had all this food on the table. I said to my son, go and bring what poor man soever thou shalt find out of what? Our brethren. See, he didn't say just bring anybody in. No, of our brethren, who is mindful of the Creator. So he's telling you, our brethren who is poor, who don't have this meat, but he got to be mindful of the Creator. See, because if he's mindful of the Creator, he's not a stranger. He's a stranger. He's mindful of the Creator, which he says, where am I? Yeah, which mindful of the Creator. And lo, I tarry for you. In other words, I'm gonna wait for you. Go and find the poor who's mindful of the Creator, and bring them and let's eat, because I got a lot of meat on this table. But he came again and said, Father, one of our nation is strangled and is cast out in the marketplace. Then before I tasted any meat, I started up and I took him up into a room until the going down of the sun. They went up and they waited for the sun. Then I returned and washed myself, and I ate my meat in heaviness. Why is he eating his meat in heaviness? He's just coming home. His wife cooked him a nice meal. But his son said they strangled out into the open, man. But he remembered something. Verse 6. Remember the prophecy of Amos. As he said, your feast shall turn into mourning, and all your mirth into lamentation. Therefore I wept, and after the going down of the sun, I went and made a grave and buried him. The brother was crying. The brother had heaviness on him because he remembered the prophecy that a lot of Israelites ain't coming from out of captivity. So he waited and he went and buried it. He went and buried it, brother. But my neighbors mocked me and said, this man is not yet afraid to be put to death for this matter, who fled away, and yet, lo, he buried the dead again. The same night also I returned from the burial and slept by the wall of my courtyard, being polluted, and my face was uncovered. How was he polluted? He touched the dead body. I went over last week about touching the dead body. So he said he's polluted. And I knew not that there were sparrows in the wall, and my eyes being open, sparrows muted, warm dome in my eyes. Means they shitted in his eyes. And a whiteness came in my eyes. And I went to the physician, but they helped me not. Moreover, Antiochus didn't nourish me, or whatever they didn't nourish me until I went to Elymas. And my wife Anna did take women's work to do. She stepped in to help him out. That's what a wife's supposed to do. And when she had sent them home to the owners, they paid her wages and gave her also besides a kid, meaning a goat. And when it was in my house, and began to cry, I said unto her, from thence is this kid is not stolen. In other words, where you get this goat from? Render it to the owners, for it is not lawful to eat anything that is stolen. But she replied unto me, it was given as a gift for the wages. Howbeit did I believe her, but bade her render it to the owners. And I abashed at her, but she replied unto me, where are thy arms and thy righteous deed? Behold, thou and all thy works are known. Family, I'm gonna leave it right here. Sometimes, family, when we take part into these feasts, we have to remember these feasts ain't just for you to have happiness. You're supposed to be remembering the prophecies. Because if it wasn't for the Creator bringing you out, you'll still be in. And we should always be thinking about those who don't have and who wish to take part. And sometimes, family, we have to do certain things to help our brothers and our sisters out. That probably will cause us to be dirty. But that's where mercy steps in, because of the intent of why you're doing it. Anybody would like to have the last words? You come on up. We'll put the invite up, and we're gonna go ahead and close out. I'm putting the thing in the page, and you can come on up if you like to. Say what you like to say, and we can go ahead and close out. I'm gonna leave it open for a minute. cannot do what you want to do in this walk. Don't be letting people tell you that you were slaves from Africa. The link is in the chat. And anybody wants to come up and make a point. It don't make a difference who you are. You can come on up, make your point. Floors is open. Because family, when we celebrate these feast days, you must remember those who don't have, who's less fortunate than you. That's what Toby did. He saw all that he had, but he wanted those to come in who was remembering the Creator. But they got killed. And that's why we have to come in that family. Those who are fortunate. That's why we're supposed to have a storehouse. All praises. So I thank each one of you for joining me. Make sure you press that like and subscribe button. If you like what you heard, share this content with others. This is Morey Yaakov. Happy Shabbat and happy Passover.